Hey, fellow mamas. Welcome to the Military Mamas podcast.
We're your hosts, Allison and Tara.
We are both moms who celebrate and support women who balance the demands of military service with the joys and challenges of motherhood.
This is a space for military moms to connect, share tips and stories, and inspire each other. Now let's get started with today's episode.
Hey, so we were just talking, and when you're in the military community, deployments can be such a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes it can be exciting because you're like, oh, finally I get like a little bit of free time. I don't have to clean up after my spouse or whatever. But then obviously there's a lot of sadness that comes with that. Especially if you have kids or if you're pregnant, you're balancing a lot of responsibilities now on yourself. And that can be really, really stressful. And so whether you're the person who leaves or the person who stays behind, we're going to talk about both of those today. And so I guess first I'll just start with as the person who leaves, all the stuff that comes with that. I've never left on a deployment when I was like with somebody. So it was never hard for me, because I think that's what makes it hard when you have to go deploy, is when you have a significant other or you have a pet or something like that.
Yeah.
So I never really struggled with it, and that's why like the Marine Corps was so good for me in the beginning, because I was like 19. I'm like, yeah, I'll go to Japan. What am I leaving behind my barracks room? Like,
yeah,
peace. You know what I mean? So I know a lot of moms though who do have kids and stay in, or just people who are married and stay in. Deployments are really, really rough. I feel like I hear a lot of negative stories just from my coworkers who are like, yeah, when I was on deployment, came back, like my wife and I were arguing a lot, or my husband and I were arguing a lot, and just trying to get back into a rhythm is really freaking hard. And
it's hard for both sides. It's not just hard like whether you're the one deploying or whether you're the one that is staying behind, whether you're dual military, whether you're like one person's in the military, one person's not, whether you have two spouses working, like
it's hard.
You might not be in the military, but you're still a working spouse. Because when somebody leaves, all of those responsibilities that other person was doing is now on the one person that's staying back.
Right.
And it's not like it's any easier. It's not like the trash being taken out is a hard task.
Exactly.
But when you're doing all of the other shit around the house and it's like, I forgot to take out the trash, like,
and then it's just
it's trash day. Yeah. Or it's trash day and the whole outside trash is like overflowing. It's like those small things. Or cutting the grass. Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
My significant other loves to cut the grass, but when he's gone, guess who has to cut the grass? And guess what time frame I have to do it in? Nap time. I swear to God. My neighbors probably think I'm a psychopath. Because when I get the opportunity to go cut the grass, I'm like running. And of course it has to be a push lawnmower because we can't get a riding lawnmower for whatever reason. But
I know, I won't name names or anything, but I know this Gunny, and she's still in the Marine Corps, and she has 2 kids. And I was just like following her on social media, and she's like, oh, going here and going here for 6 months. I'm like, what?
Oh, like she's deploying.
Yeah. And so I can't even imagine what that's like. I've never done it. But especially when you deploy, if you're on a ship, like, you might get an email, you might get to talk every now and then, but I could not imagine. Like, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get out. And so, like, leaving your baby behind, especially when they're young and they're like, where's my mom? And you're like, she's on a boat in the middle of the Pacific. And you're like, what are you talking about? So I couldn't imagine.
Or if both are deployed at the same time, like that's happened. That's happened. My godmother, she was deployed, and her she was separated from her husband, but her kid had to go to family friends for 6 months while she was deployed.
That's actually crazy.
Isn't it crazy though?
I think now they're trying to better balance that, like where they like make sure like one person's in garrison while the other one's gone. But sometimes you can never plan it right,
Yeah, but you have to have that support system. Like you have to have somebody, like the unique situation that military members and like women are put in is you have to find somebody that you trust enough to take care of your babies, like the things that mean the more to you than anything else in the world. Like it's different if it's a dog, like, hey, can you watch my dog for 6 months? It's like,
okay. I take good with my dog. Like, make sure you pet him 3 times a day. Hold his paws. Like,
give him head scratches at night, and he gets 2 kisses, one on the left and one on the right. It's like,
actually, you pre-chew his food for him.
I'd be like, yo, how much are you giving me? Because I can't do that for free.
Right. But and even like for like the spouses who aren't in the military and they get left behind, like most of the time they're living in a completely different state where they don't have family, they don't have friends. Maybe like if you just PCS to North Carolina and you're from California, you have no family, no friends, and sometimes it can be really hard to make friends when you're a spouse of someone in the military and you're like, I guess I'll hop on the Facebook page and see what that drama's about. And then you're like, I don't want to talk to these hoes. Like, they're crazy. They're arguing about.
And let's be real. Like, it's not like your husband's coming home and telling you all about all of the resources. Like, if I wasn't in the Marine Corps too, I wouldn't know half of the things that are available to.
God bless them. They're terrible.
Family. Yeah. They like, how's your day? Good. And it's like, they could have gotten fired. They could have gotten a promotion. They could have they could have re-enlisted. They could like, it's the same fucking answer every time. It's like, okay, you seem mad though. Like, do we have a good day? Like,
you're breathing a little differently.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about something?
Do you want to elaborate a little bit? No? Okay.
Yeah.
Or like, there's so much stuff that happens for like events and stuff that are going on, like Easter things, Christmas parties. Like, we're in the Marine Corps. Half the time we don't like that because we have to plan it, or like somebody gets dubbed like you're gonna plan the ball, you're gonna plan the holiday party,
extra responsibility.
And it's like, I already have to do my job and like deal with all of you. Like, can you just opt me out?
The barbecue bash?
Like, I really don't want to go do fundraisers. I don't want to. I will, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that are available that people just maybe, even service members maybe don't know about, but like.
Well, also, I don't, like, not the men, but I don't really think that they think about those things like, oh, I'm about to leave, because deployments, when you're in and you're about to deploy, like, it's a really exciting thing because you get to be that guy, you get to go out, do a lot of work, you get to go to a new place maybe, try a new culture. It's super exciting, hang with the homies, you know, like, it's super exciting. And so you kind of get caught up in everything you have to do pre-deployment stuff with your workup, that you're like, oh yeah, I should probably make sure that my wife has got like some support, or make sure the car's good to go, or make sure, you know, she knows about these resources. Like, I don't think they really think about that until it's like they're already overseas and their wife's crying on the phone like, hey, this shit's hard when you come home.
And Lord knows all of that happens in the first week. Like, the second that they leave, it's like, car needs new tire, or tire went out on the car. The dog needs to go to the emergency vet because they ate something, a toy, and then the kids are sick, and then it's just all of it. It never fails. All of that shit always happens within the first week of them leaving. And then it's also like, your spouse is gone, and then so now you have to tell, and you know that they're busy, you know that they're working a lot because they're deployed. It's not like at home, and so it's like, and do I them about this because I'm really off, and now like it's all on me, but I don't want to stress them out.
Especially if that's your person too. You want to like connect with them and talk to them and be like, oh my gosh, I miss you, and this is really hard. You know, my son's asking about you, like stuff like that. You know, and then you're like, but you also want to be like, how is it going? What are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm having the time of my life today. We caught this like giant spider. I'm like, wow, that's awesome.
My friend's husband, she is not active duty, but she's married to an active duty. She works herself, but every time her husband's on deployment, he's doing like cool and like
that honestly is
blowing stuff up and like doing, you know, oh yeah, we had a really good day. Like, we were able to go out and do some you know, weapons training with somebody else, and he will like send her videos of like random stuff that's cool as shit, and she's just like, oh, look at what he did today. Like I was
on the floor.
Like, do you see this? It's like, it'll be okay. It's only 6 months.
I feel like it's so hard. I think as a person gone, like there's like some type of guilt you can feel where you're like, ooh, this, like, my wife's back home dealing with all this. I'm having such a good time. I want to share it. But it's also like, this is what I love to do. This is what I signed up to do. And so there's like that tour or that tear, like between like, do I try to deploy? Do I try to stay home? Like, I know this is a big struggle for Derek and I. I mean, we're both dual military. But it was like, okay, well, if you deploy, I'm going to stay back. But then as soon as you get back, it's my turn. So then it's like, we're never going to see each other. And then now we have a baby. So it's like, we're never going to see her together. She's only going to have one parent, like crazy. And so I think there's such like a guilt with it. And I remember like what you were saying, like when Derek was in Korea, he like sent me this video. I was actually in Japan at the time. We were both deployed. And he sent me a video. He's like,
but that's before babies, right?
This is before baby. Yeah. But it's still hard as hell. And he's like, dude, look at this bird that got blown up. I'm like, well, I've cried 3 times today because I I miss you. So that's so cool. Yeah, I love that you're killing birds over there. But love that, and I'm like. And you know, like our jobs, like I can't just talk about my job. So I'm the one who's like, well, my day was good. You know, I pushed out some products, killed my brief. That's about it. All I can say is like, well, I killed birds. So it's like hard to not be mad. Yeah, it's so hard not to be mad. And I think being in the military, I can understand better of like, all right, try not to get mad because he's out there, you know, having a good time. He's serving, he's working, you know, he's getting all this experience. So it's like, and he's in Korea. And so it's really hard not to get jealous too as a dual like military couple, because you're like, fuck you, I haven't been to Korea yet. Actually, I went to Korea first. So I was like, oh yeah, you should try that one place down the road. I'm like, oh, it's so good. Ask for one. I'm just kidding. Like, I was like, I think that's what made me feel a little bit better is because I had been there.
Yeah.
But like when he was like talking about like, oh, maybe I could go to Australia. I'm like, ew, I want to go to Australia. Like, no. Like, I want to go. Like, you can't go. And so it's really hard, I think, to feel neutral because you're either like, fine, leave. So happy you're gone. Or it's like, oh, I'm jealous. Or if you're not in it at all, you're like, what the f-? Like, even though you marry someone in the like military, you kind of like know what you're getting into. It doesn't really hit until you're by yourself at home on the couch with your spouse gone. They're 19 hours ahead of you in the time zone, so you're not talking to them. And so I think it's so different. And that's why like I love the memes that are like, oh, I married a service member, blah, 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 because he's so hot in uniform. And then it like pans to like the reality of just being alone and like sad all the time. And like the kids rushing around. I'm like, see, I married a service member because I am a service member. It makes sense. Like we have to know the same language, the same lifestyle. But if I was not in the military, oh my God, there's no way you'd catch me dating someone in the... Why would I sign up for long distance? Well, like, you know that in the beginning.
Yeah, but you know, that's why people, I don't want to sound cringy right now, but that's why people say like, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Because people don't understand the amount that families sacrifice. Like you're missing, you're missing birthdays. Like my husband hasn't been at one of his baby's births and he has 3 children. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, people don't understand that at all. Are you about to cry for real?
You know I'm emotional right now. You know what I'm going through
I love that because it makes me feel like you're working.
Yeah.
But you
I
understand.
cannot imagine that. I literally cannot imagine that.
But you understand what that means. Maybe you haven't gone through it, but you understand it as being a military family that thing that happens. I mean, in my neighborhood alone, like my across the street neighbor, her husband was deployed. My other neighbor down the street, her husband's on the same deployment as mine is. And like all of these people understand. And it's like my neighbor across the street, she literally will take my trash down every Thursday because I forget. Like, so and she always, when she takes her trash out, she runs over and she gets mine and she takes my trash down. Yeah. And that's like one of the smallest things, but it means so much because she's got 3 kids, you know what I mean? And she's got 3 kids, 3 dogs. She's in the same situation, but she takes the time to do that because she knows that I'll forget my trash. And and I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah. So that's a positive. You can build like a community, you know? Yeah,
but that's also like if you're a spouse, we did the podcast about the benefits and going and meeting people. I know that it's not, some people don't want to go outside your comfort zone or it's like weird to talk to people or whatever, but I guarantee you, once you start talking to somebody and they're like, I understand exactly what you're saying because like I feel that way too. You don't know until you start just talking to each other and do it at the park, do it at these the classes that are offered, like the events that the unit is throwing, whether you're active duty or a spouse or dual military, go to each other's events. Like it might not always be perfect, like the event might not be fun, it's like mandatory fun, but other people who are also there for mandatory fun, it'll give you like something to talk about. You're like, I can't believe that we came to this shit. And it's like, oh, you're here too. Oh, cool. Do you want to go do something else? Like go to a bar or go to, you know, there's plenty of bars that like breweries and stuff. Like just look some stuff up and figure out what you like or invite each other over to each other's houses. It doesn't matter if you're
even just grab some Chick-fil-A together, you know, like something easy.
And figure it out, and then you can start like building the community that way. Like,
yeah, don't be intimidated by the Facebook groups. I'm in the Camp Lejeune Wives chat. Oh my gosh. it's pretty funny because sometimes there are some nutcases, but I promise you we're not all like that. Like, I'm a dependent now, and so I try to think about like how I act, and so sometimes I'll see like other women get on there, and I'm not shaming these women. I'm definitely not calling them out by name.
And being a dependent is not a bad thing. Like, it's not a bad thing.
It's a whole other community.
Yeah, there are jokes and stuff. Like, you see that stuff online, and it's like some of it's funny, and there's memes and all of this other stuff, but it's not a bad thing. Like, it's just, people make fun of female Marines too, and you just have to take it with a grain of salt and keep it trucking. You know what I'm saying? So
if I'm like about to start my period, then I probably will cry and take it personally, but I'll be okay the next day. But no, there are some super crazy things that get posted on there, and you're like, they are all like this. Like, there's always drama, and sometimes it's like just interesting to read up on the drama. Like, stay away from Brown Street because they are going crazy. But like, there's always good like information on there of like, hey, I'm selling this. Does anybody need this pump thing, or does anybody need this like nursing bra, or does anybody need like this like pack and play, or like dog stuff, or like, there's really good community there. I've sold a lot of stuff on there. I've bought some stuff off of there. But it's nice just to like say like, hey, there's this event going on. Like, we're all allowed to go to it. So I really do encourage those pages. Know there's going to be drama and there's going to be some crazy things, but I say keep an open mind because not everyone's like that.
You never know what somebody's. There are crazy people, but you never know what somebody's going. Like, I'm crazy sometimes, and it's just you never know what's going on in somebody's life. So, if they're bold enough to post it online or bold enough to ask a question, it means they've probably exhausted every other resource, and now they're just going batshit crazy, and they have to I don't know, tell their story or reach out to somebody, or get some answers somehow. So
I mean, I don't blame them, because one thing I hate was when people lie about me, or like they want to blab about our like drama. Then I'm like, well, you need to hear my side, because why did I do that? Let me tell you. You know? So it's like, I definitely get the pull to do that. I think you just really have to have the self-control to be like, oh, I'm not going to say anything, but let me catch someone out on the street, and then I'll tell them my business, but I won't type it on the internet. Then that can be really hard. And I think especially when you're like really emotional, or like you are by yourself, and like,
or postpartum, Jesus.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're just going through a lot. And like, I've never had to be at home by myself with Esme and like Derek be like deployed, but I've done like a couple days of duty, and you're like, that's like one day, like chill. But oh my gosh, just one day of taking care of the dogs all by myself, making dinner, cleaning up after dinner, bath time all by myself, trying to like get the chickens, get the eggs, all of that, all in one day. And you already have like 2 hours by the time you're off of work and stuff. And so you're just like, holy crap, like, it's so...
There's not enough hours in the day.
There's literally
not enough time.
Right. And then you're like, well, I'm gonna cry because I didn't get a workout in, I didn't walk today. Like, Esme sat in her diaper for 3 hours because I'm just a mom. Like, you just really get in your head about things, and I'm like, that's one day of duty where I can talk to him. Like, I can text him if I want, I can call him if I want. It's like, we're on the same time. Like, it's just so crazy. And so that gives me so much perspective for the people who do have to balance deployments for 6 to, a year.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot imagine. Like, I just want to hug everybody who's ever gone through that. And I mean, you're going through it right now, so I feel like you should talk about that.
Well, it's weird. The dynamic is weird because with Mac, Danny was gone, and that was almost easier because he wasn't here when I gave birth. He wasn't here for the aftermath, and he didn't meet Mac until he was like 4 months old. And so that was a different dynamic. It was the coming home part that really fucked everything up. Really? And not in a way of like, I didn't want him to come home. I wanted him to come home, but it was just, he comes back from a deployment where he's, balls to the wall, like working every day. He's working out. He's doing like, he's on his grind. He's eating, well, he was in the Philippines, so he was eating like rice and chicken for every meal. So, I mean, he lost a lot of weight. He was like, he was working out a lot. And
I mean, that's his only responsibility.
He's on his grind, right? Yeah. Like, he's got a routine. He's in it. Go, go, go. And then he comes back, and here I am with 9 different bassinets. There are things to put a baby in because I can't be upstairs and the baby's bassinet thing be downstairs. I need to take it, and I'm not going to carry downstairs. Right. I had a C-section. I can't lift stuff up, like go up and downstairs like that. So I have a bassinet upstairs. I have a bassinet downstairs. Got to swing downstairs. Got to swing upstairs. Like, I have all of this that, like, thankfully people gave to me for baby, like, baby presents or whatever.
Yeah.
My in-laws, like family members, all of that. And when he comes home, he's like, why in the hell do you have 9 bassinets? And he really did. He took them all. I was like, I don't have 9. And he grabbed all of them around the house.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did. And he put them all in the landing. And I know shit had like 11. Like, it wasn't even 9. It was like 11. And I was using them.
The effort, though, to go through that.
I know, because he had to, because I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
So I had to see it. And I was just like, but you don't understand. You were gone. You have no idea. And it's not like he was trying to be mean about it. He was just trying to show me, like,
and he's trying to understand.
You really do. Like, why? Yeah, why do you need this? And it's like, because
there's one baby.
Here. Yeah. And I'm like, how do you think I showered? Like, how do you think I did anything? But him coming back, he was just like, everything needs a place and purpose for everything. And it's like, well, there is a place and purpose for everything, but all of my is everywhere because I get it when I need it, and I know exactly where it is. So trying to combine that that routine of what he had going on, and you know, being in the military, you have to stay fit too. Like, you have to work out. You have to.
And it's not like you were a stay-at-home mom. You were also in.
Yeah, and like I went back to work like 8 weeks because I had a C-section. I had 8 weeks convalescent leave, and then I went right back to work so I could save my maternity leave so that we could use it when we got back. Yeah. Also, like, it is a great idea because then you can use it whenever you want, but it is really, really hard. And like women, I don't know how active duty women were able to do this like in previous years, because it used to be you had 6 months to get back into shape and run a PFT and CFT.
Yeah, you had like no time.
And you only got 12 weeks total, 6 weeks of convalescence, 6 weeks of maternity. Yeah. And then you were back at work right after that. And then the men only got 7 days, then it was like 14, then 21.
Yeah.
Now everybody gets 84 days, and it's just like, my hat's off to women who had babies before, because it, like, that makes me want to cry. Like, thinking about going back, because I went back early as my own choice.
Right.
They didn't have a choice back then, so it's crazy. So my hat's off to all of you who did that. But
I was talking to this Marine, and the girl he was dating was like a doula over in Poland, I think, and he was saying that she was so baffled about how little maternity leave like we get in the U.S., military or not. Like, over in Poland, they get 3 years. 3 years. I mean, I didn't fact check this, but he said it like 3 years. In a lot of countries, you get a lot of time because, like, the first few years. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't fact check anything, but he was just saying, and I know other countries have more extensive maternity leaves than ours, but like paid. And it's like the first few years, like, your kid needs you, and it's different, like taking them to daycare and like stuff like that. And so it's just really crazy to like think about the people who had like really nothing, like 7 days, literally 7 days. Like, what are you gonna do in 7 days? And by the time you're done with the 7 days, you've kind of learned the routine on where you can plug yourself in to help with stuff.
I shouldn't say that's nothing. I'm thankful that they got that in that time period. Yeah. 7 days, like,
better than zero.
Yeah, better than zero. So I shouldn't say that's nothing, but that's not like fully considerate of the what you need to have, I guess.
Right. Every now and then I'll get comments on like my Instagram of, you got 84 days, you should be grateful. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely grateful, like 100%. But like, they're the ones who are like really nasty that they only got a few days. Like, I'm like, hey, if you had it bad, like, you should be grateful that the people after you have it better, you know, not like,
well, because but that's one of our toxic traits of being in the Marine Corps, is it's like whenever something changes to make it better for the next generation, it's like, well, you didn't earn it, like we are the ones that
we had to struggle.
But it should be like you're saying, like, we're all on the same side. We should be working to help each other in those situations and like celebrate, like, that people are having. That's another thing, like, people don't celebrate that you have baby. It doesn't feel like people celebrate the announcement that you're pregnant, or that the announcement that your spouse is pregnant. So say it's like a man in the Marine Corps and the spouse is not in the Marine Corps, and it's like, oh yeah, my wife's pregnant. Like, people don't celebrate. It's like, you could give a high five. You could just be like, hey man, congratulations. You know, I'm over the moon. I want everybody to get knocked up. I'm like, let's do it. Like, you're having a baby, your life's about to change. It's gonna be crazy, and it's gonna be like scary, but it's wild.
30 follow-up questions.
Like, but I don't know. I don't feel like people celebrate as much sometimes. I feel like people look at it as like, oh, great, so-and-so's fucking knocked up. So now they're not going to be able to go on a deployment, or they're going to want time off, or they're going to have to go to their dependents appointments. And it's like,
especially as the female, like, you're like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I know I'm going to cover this in like the episode that we go over about why I got out, but the moment I told like my command that I was pregnant, it was like, wow, you used to be like our star, now you're a shag. I'm like, wait, nothing's changed other than the fact that I told you 9 months from now I'm gonna have a baby. Like, it's not gonna be tomorrow. There's appointments and stuff, but like, you just get looked at differently. You're like, you know, like, oh, you're pregnant. You know, like, I literally had one of my bosses, obviously not naming names, but like, oh, well, now you're just gonna be like every other female. And I'm like, excuse me, what? Like, I'm about to bring a life onto this freaking planet.
Yeah, it's unacceptable. Like it's unacceptable and inexcusable.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anything nice to say, keep your fucking mouth shut.
Seriously.
You're as a lead, and I'm sorry, I'm putting my gunny hat on here.
Yeah.
Let me put it on. As a leader, your responsibility to your Marines is to look out for them and help them and mentor them and guide them and get them as many resources as possible to set them up for success, because if they're set up for success, they're gonna be a better employee for you, and you can better employ them to accomplish the mission at the end of the day. If you don't, then one, you're making it harder for that Marine, because now they don't even know where to look for things, or a service member. It doesn't even have to be a Marine. It can be just any service member. Yeah. They don't know where to go for that information.
They're sure not going to go to you.
They're not going to go to you anymore. They're not going to think that you're on their side. Like even if you don't agree, at the end of the day, I'm not getting paid to agree with your life decisions. I'm getting paid to be here as an advocate for you, as a resource, as a mentor, as somebody that has the experience and the knowledge and has the fucking balls to go ask somebody if I don't have the experience and the knowledge. That is why I exist in the Marine Corps.
Yeah. Even if you're like anti-kid, you know, okay, well, my Marine or my whatever wants to have kids. This is what their family's doing. I'm going to support them. It might not be the same for my personal life, but it doesn't matter. Like, you're at work, your personal life shouldn't blend with that. Like, your personal opinion should be, well, nobody should have kids. Like, people are going to have kids. Like, quit being dumb, you know? Yeah. Like, even if you don't mean it, just like, oh, that's awesome. Let me know if you need anything. I know you're probably going to have a lot of appointments, blah, blah, blah. You know, get with this person, check online for resources if they don't know them. Like, there's so many better ways to handle things, and like, oh, okay, well, I guess you don't want to deploy then. Yeah, I probably don't want to miss my appointments. I know some people are okay with that. Like, I heard there was a lady at the last unit I was in, and she deployed when she was like pregnant. I'm like,
I've never heard of that.
Hats off. Like, if that's real, like, again, what I would do doesn't mean that's what you have to do, but I don't think we have to be shamed, you know? Like, I'll still show up to work on time. I'll still PT. I'll still do all these
expectations.
Right. Like, I'm not like, all right, I'm completely hands off. Like do whatever.
See you guys in 9 months. Like, no. Now, afterwards, I will see you when I see you. Like, after I'm giving birth, like, lose my number. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back.
Exactly.
But don't hit me up after I give birth. But beforehand, like, you got me. I'm here. I'm ready to work. Like, I have other things going on. I'll keep you in the loop. Like, I'm not going to keep secrets, but at the same time, like, people need to be considerate in the fact of this is a real life change that is happening, and for women, it's our bodies.
So huge. Like, oh my gosh,
it's our bodies, it's our uniforms, it's our time, it's everything is getting like shaken up. You know what I mean?
Especially being in, oh my gosh, like, I was competing and like I was in uniform. Like, it's so different because you have the standards up to, especially as a Marine, you know, you're like, I need to be perfect 24/7. And like, I just remember even like getting a big belly, like in camis, in maternity uniforms, like completely in regulations. I was just so in my head like, I don't want to go anywhere. Like, I need to go to the PX to pick up like a new whatever. Like, I really don't want to go in there because I don't want to get judged. I want to get looked at because
people you don't feel good. Like, like, you don't look. It's not like
this when you're like in the 3rd trimester. Literally forget about it. And
it's not like you look cute. You're wearing a fucking tarp. Like, you know what I mean?
Ugly.
A tarp that buttons on the side because you're fat. Get bigger, like, you know what I mean? It's like,
it's so ugly.
Like, the kangaroo pouch is so comfortable, but 100%. Still, like, even at the end of my pregnancy, for the last 2 weeks I was pregnant, the the candies were too small because they measure you when you're not huge and you don't really know how big you're gonna get. And so, but it also like I just felt like I remember I think I did a couple of promotion ceremonies where somebody wanted me to pin, like I had the honor to go up and pin somebody.
Yeah.
And
when you were pregnant?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Do you see a pregnant woman march? You look like ridiculous. You can't do that. Cute.
I wish I could have seen.
You know, before it's like, oh, you know, you see drill instructors doing, they're like,
yeah,
and you're like, ooh, yeah, like get them. You see a pregnant woman do it, and you're like, oh my, did she turn?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no,
that was a pivot. That was a pivot.
That was a pivot. It just took 2 seconds to turn. You know, at the end, it's like,
did you have to stand like far back because like your belly's in the space? Like when you leaned up to pin them, like how did you?
You know when you hug when you're pregnant and your just like pokes pokes out and your belly like drops. Yeah. Like that's what I looked like when I was going to pin people because I don't want to touch them with my belly. Not that anybody
they're trying to like
woo. But you're like trying to. You just don't. Nothing is cute like when you're that big. You know. Yeah. And everybody's like, oh my god, you look great, and thank God for you. For everybody who says you look great, like thank you for not saying.
I think it's the females, really.
Yeah, thank you for saying. Like it's the other people who are like, "Oh my God, you're so big."
Oh my gosh, yeah,
yeah.
My neighbor said that to me on Halloween,
and it's like,
I was like, really? What did you say to me? She's like, wow, like you are huge. When do you do it? I'm like, I still have like 2 more months.
Yeah,
I'm
really, thank you.
Maybe shut your mouth.
Like as I'm sweating. Oh my gosh, I'm like, really, thank you. Yes, I am huge. I really, yes. I got it, Sharon. I really appreciate it.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that was her name.
Oh.
I don't know. She was definitely older, but no, I was actually, this was in the process when we were renting out our house. And so we turned off the power and all that, but we have a generator connected to the house that the tenants have. And so the generator kicked on. And so one of our other neighbors was like, hey, I'm pretty sure your Jenny's running. Yeah, that makes sense because we turn off the power. The house thinks that there's no power. And so we had to go and like manually turn off the generator. Well, we didn't have power or water because the tenants were going to move in a couple of weeks and we were moved out. And so I'm like 7 months pregnant. I'm like, I got it really bad. And I'm like the houses were so close that if I was like, I'm just going to go pee in the backyard. I don't care. Like primal, you know? So I was like,
adapt and overcome.
Yeah, I was like, but the houses are so close together that if they're in their upstairs and they're looking down, like they're going to see me.
Your phone starts ringing while you're squatting peeing. There's some pregnant woman in your backyard peeing.
Yeah, I'm like, it's me.
It's actually me.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to ask like next door to use the restroom because they were out because it was Halloween. So they were like setting up a booth. It was outside. It was perfect. And I was like, hey, I really need to pee. She's like, of course, honey, come in. I was like, thank you.
Also, you're huge. Will you fit through the door frame?
Yeah. Seriously. Don't turn sideways. And then I think it was a different neighbor was there meeting up with him. And so it wasn't her, but it was a different lady. Wow, you're huge. As she's touching my belly. And I'm like, if I don't know you, maybe just don't come putting your hands on me, you know?
Like personal space.
As you're insulting me. Like, yeah,
Which she thinks it's a compliment.
I know, that's why I'm like, I know there's definitely different approaches for things with the different generations. And that generation was definitely like, you just say whatever. Who cares if it's insulting? Like, you're huge. I'm like, yeah, there's a human inside of me. You know what I mean? And
like, so, I'm really doing a really good job. Maybe let's mention that.
Yeah, but it's like, why is that ever a good thing to say?
It's just the first thing that comes to people. I'm a hypocrite too because my best friend when she was pregnant with like when we were junior Marines, she was like we were both Lance corporals. And I remember every time I saw her like towards the end, I was like, oh my God, you're so much bigger than like 3 days ago. I'm sure she wanted to just punch me in the face.
Yeah. I think sometimes like in the beginning.
She's forgiven me since, so it's okay.
That's good, yeah. I think in the beginning though, especially like with my like Ethesme, I was like, oh my gosh, like am I getting a bump yet? Like I would be like, trying to push it out. I'm like, look, you can kind of see something. Look, like I wanted a bump so bad, you know? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a bump. I was so proud of it. But then by the end, you're like, get this thing out of me.
Yeah, then you're like, why did I ever want a bump? Like, it turns into just this huge watermelon.
You just turn, you're knocking things off the counter. But yeah, so.
Did you ever have like phantom belly, like afterwards?
What do you mean?
You know, like after, no. Well, not the kicks, but that is a thing.
Oh, so yeah, I've had that.
But like whenever you don't have a belly anymore, like whenever your belly goes down, but it's still like within a certain amount of time after you had birth. I remember I was walking around the counter and I remember like moving out of the way, and I was just like, oh, oh, I don't have to do that anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
this is cool. And then I'd like ram into the side of the thing. But yeah, I don't
No,
know.
I never did that. We live in a camper, so I was like, finally some fun things. I know, I had phantom kicks though, and I literally, when I saw like reels about phantom kicks, I'm like, that's a lie. Like, you're not gonna feel, you know, like whatever. And then it happened to me, and I was like, there's a baby inside of me. They left it there.
Maybe you just had to poop. Maybe it's just gas.
No, I swear, no, I'm telling you, like,
My
you know,
post-pregnancy part, my postpartum farts are bad.
Really?
Like, oh yeah.
I've always had bad farts, like protein farts,
Well,
pregnancy
yeah,
farts,
you
postpartum.
drink a lot, or you eat a lot of protein.
So I never know. Derek says that they're worse when you're pregnant, but I just
Danny
think,
definitely thinks they're worse. one time he like, we were driving somewhere and he was like, I can count on one hand the bad farts that you've had like the whole time I've known you. I was like, no, you can't. I was like, no way. And legit, we were in the car driving. And
January 12th, 2005.
Outside of dates, he was like, actual events, and it was so funny. I was dying. I was laughing so hard I was crying because he legit named off like
I'm starting to think that you might be on the spectrum.
5 really bad farts that I had like the whole time.
Did you remember? You're like, oh
Yes.
yeah, actually.
Yeah, well, there was one. I know we just got off track, but there was one. I was changing Mac's diaper or something. He had just like a pee diaper when he was a baby,
Yeah.
and I ripped one bad in the closet of like my bedroom. But that's where our changing table is, and he came in and he was like, "Oh God!" And I was like, "Yeah, it's poopy diaper."
No way.
And
You
I
played
played
back.
back. And the funniest thing was it was so bad, but he didn't like. He was like, "Oh my God, like that's my boy," like whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was laughing so hard I was crying, and he like knew
catch
that it
you?
wasn't. Yeah, he knew it wasn't that funny. Like I wouldn't be laughing as hard, and he was like, "You did that, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yes."
That is so funny.
But
Wow.
yeah. Sorry, fart stories. Funny fart stories.
It's part of it, you know.
Well, I mean, every time we have voice messages back and forth, like Esme farts, and you're like,
I know.
I promise that wasn't me, and I'm like, this out here farting up a storm while she's messaging me.
I know, and you're like, yeah, right. I'm like, I can hold it, okay. Mine are like loud, like rumbly, like thunder, like 5 seconds. Like they are not like, they're like, so I'm like, no, like you would know it was me. Like that was a baby fart. Like you can hear it. The acoustics off the diaper, that's not me. Like you'll know. But she's starting to have some manly farts, honestly. And like now that she's eating solids, like they're starting to really like.
Oh yeah, life's about to change. She's about to have.
Well, I sent you a picture of her
farts.
turd. Remember that?
Oh my
she's,
God,
She's
yeah.
got turds now, like
Yeah.
logs.
Well, you're crunchy, and she's having her baby potty train at 6. She's 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 6 months, but she did send me a picture of her turd in the
I know,
potty, and
but
I
she
was
didn't
like, I don't believe it.
Yeah. And like they give cues just like hungry cues or whatever. Like they have the same cues. And then now she's eating solids. Like she's really giving away. Like she stops everything. She gets really still, and then she just looks into you like, "Don't look at me."
Don't look at me, I'm about to do
Like
this.
she doesn't blink for like 10 minutes. Like something's brewing, and then she gets like. She starts scratching up, like, and like we just know, like we just say, "Get the potty!" And so like Derek's doing dishes, he like runs in there. I unsnap her from the high chair. Oh yeah, like we carry her into the bedroom, throw off the diaper, put her on the potty, and it's like like
we missed.
and like her, like I don't know why, but her turds like never come out. Like they're just stuck in between her little butt cheeks. It's so funny.
She's gonna force, like she's
Yeah.
gotta hunker down.
Yeah, well, like they don't fall out. Like they'll like be stuck in her little butt cheeks. It's so funny. She's caked up, I guess. But so we'll pick her up and put her on the potty, and it just falls. It's so funny.
I cannot believe you're able to do that. I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. I
don't do it every day. We only do it around like meals, and then when she wakes up, like in the morning. And so it's just good. It's just good to help them. Like oh, when I wake up, if I hold it for 10 seconds, mommy's gonna let me go to the bathroom, and I don't have to pee on myself. And so it's crazy how they learn, because everybody thinks babies are dumb, and then you actually like are around one, and you do research and you do things. Because like when I first learned about elimination communication, I was like, there's no way a freaking 3-month-old is gonna pee in the top. Like
What did you say? You said, it sounded like you said illumination. And
elimination communication is what they call it.
Elimination communication.
Yeah, that's what the crunchies call it.
Oh, it sounded like The elimination. Have you seen the movies where the minions are like, elimination?
No.
Is it just me? It's just me.
Yeah, we're not there yet. We're not watching movies yet.
Imitation, elimination.
Elimination. Like you're eliminating your waste and then you're communicating that you have to do that. We don't really say
wait,
that.
What is it called?
Elimination communication. Or EC. Everybody calls it EC, but we just say use the restroom, like, you know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna say, I have to go eliminate. Excuse me. Like, shut up. No one's saying that. That's
This
weird.
is probably, I don't know. We have your crunchy conversations. Sometimes this is probably like one of the most crunchy ones.
Yeah. Well, I don't call it that though. I'm like mildly crunchy.
Oh, okay.
I'm just like she's or she's
No, I think pooping in the potty is the crunchy part. Like, like not that your baby goes to the bathroom.
But cleaning up is so easy. Like it's easy. Just gotta get a different liner in her cloth diaper. Like, which we could do a whole episode about cloth diapers.
Well, we probably should, because I'm sure a lot of people like. I don't know. I'm ignorant to it because I'm just not. I just don't have the time to dive down the rabbit hole and looking it up and doing research. I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Like help, but right now Costco's got us on some on the diapers, so we just buy all of our diapers at Costco.
Yeah. But we want to have like 3 kids total, and so you spend like $300 on like the cloth diapers and everything you need, and then you use it for 3 years. And like they're adjustable, so like it starts when they're small and it goes up to when they're bigger, and so it's not like you have to get like size 1 then size 3. It's like this is good for up to like 40 pounds or whatever. So but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, we go into that. Well, you can go into that.
Yeah. But anyway, when we were talking about deployments,
what a rabbit hole.
Yeah. We've never really had to be the ones to go away, and like I could never imagine doing that. I think I would feel so guilty as a mom. Like I know people do it, no judgment there, but I think I would feel so guilty with missing 6 months of my baby's life. I think it's different if your kids are older. Like if you have teenagers, they probably couldn't care less if you're gone for 6 months. But like
I think it just hits.
Babies.
I don't think it's like they could care less. I think it just hits different at different ages, because like when they're really, really small, they don't know. Like Mac's age, Nash's age right now, like they're not going to remember that Danny's gone. But
also he is the dad. At this age, that really does matter. Like if it was reversed.
Well, it matters. It matters in a sense of like the things that the kid will get from the dad in those moments. But as far as like them understanding where he's at, like knowing that he's gone, Mac knows that Danny is gone. Like he's like, Daddy, airplane working, and it's like, yes, okay,
that's adorable.
Yeah. It's not adorable when it's kind of like sad, it's like it makes me bawl my eyes out. But Nash doesn't obviously know anything.
Right.
But like my friend, her kids are 3 and 2, and her 3-year-old is really, really smart, and like her kids know that he left and that Daddy's gone, but her husband like does a lot more stuff and is gone more, and so they register it, and it's like they do the books. They like he's read. They did videos of him reading books to them so that she can show him the videos. He records himself. They have a bear, and it's just like heartbreaking, because she even showed me a video the other day of her daughter was in the pack and play. Sorry, her daughter was in the pack and play, and the camera was on because she's laying her down for bedtime or whatever, and she's got a little doll, and she. Like my friend thought that she was asleep, but she pressed the doll or whatever, and you can't really hear it on the camera, but it's her husband talking to their daughter, and then she's like, Daddy, come home. But she's in her room by herself in her pack and play, and it's just like,
that is so sad. Like when they know, oh my god,
they know he's gone, and so it's just heartbreaking. Like so, I think it's like different stages as teenagers, you know. When my dad, we're from a military family, so like the whole dependent child experience I have, like, you know, growing up around the military, which my husband and I come from different backgrounds on that, because he grew up in one place and has 5 childhood friends that he continues to talk to now. And I have like friends all over the world, and some of them I don't even talk to, and some of them I do. And, but anyways, as you're in high school, like your dad missing your football game, or your mom not being able to be there for your honor roll night, or stuff like that, is just, you know, it hits differently. So I think it just hits different at different ages.
Especially when you see like the other parents there, and you know, I think it definitely, I can't imagine. I've never done it, but
one of my other friends, she's a warrant officer now, but we were in Norway together, and I think her daughter was a year old when we went to Norway, and we went to Norway for 2 months, and her and I were like bunk mates in our tent. And I just remember talking to her, and I was like, man, I don't know how you're doing it. And I didn't have kids at this point. I just had dogs. I was like, I miss my dogs. And she's probably like, you stupid kid. She's like, shut up. And meanwhile, like, she's talking to her daughter she's dual military, and she's talking to her daughter on FaceTime. And it's just like, now I think about it, and it breaks my heart. And I'm like, I don't know how you did it. And I just saw her the other day, and she's like, dude, it's hard. Like, it's hard. And she was like, we're going to do it again. But she is like one of those people that this is why I joined. Yeah. I joined to serve my country.
Right.
And my daughter is going to see me as an example of, you made a commitment, and this is what we do when we make commitments. And sometimes it's hard, but you know, we're a strong family, and you have that support system, and you just do what you got to do. And like, my hat's off to people. It scares me to think about that. But
honestly, I mean, that was my plan going into it. I was gonna commission and then do that, and then it just changed. And I had like a upbringing, and I don't have a good relationship with my parents, and so I was like, I don't want to do that, because I know there's some type of trauma that comes with being in the military. Even if your parents never leave, you're always moving and stuff. Like, there's things that come with it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something I work through actually in therapy, is just, I want to try to give my kids the perfect life I never had. And so my priorities just changed so much that, like, I felt it so much. And I love the Marine Corps. Like, the Marine Corps is like my first baby, you know? And like, when I planned for so long doing my full 20 to, all right, I'm getting out after this, like, it's such a big difference. But I think every person's different, and whether you want to stay in and, you know, rock the dual military, or stay in and support your spouse who's in for 20 years, or if you don't want to do it at all, or you can do a few years, like,
or you're supporting the spouse that's staying in.
Like, either way, like, I think it's powerful. It's powerful either way, you know.
It does. When you find out you're pregnant, like, people don't understand how much it shifts. Because like you said, I love the Marine Corps. I do. Yeah. I absolutely love the Marine Corps. Yeah. I'm a military brat. I joined the Marine Corps saying I'm going to do 20 years. Like, I'm going to retire. Yeah. And I want, like, E7 was my goal, right? I want to make E7. I wanted, because my dad was in the military. And so it was really important. Yeah. And it's hard. It's not easy. Yeah. It's not easy lifestyle in general. But then, like, after having Mac, it was just like, oh my God, I never understood how I could love something so much more than anything. Like, nobody, whereas before I would bend over backwards at work, and I would like twist myself all out of shape to just make everything happen. And it doesn't matter what time of night, doesn't matter what, when, where, like that, all that commitment and devotion was to the Marine Corps. Right. And now when I had Mac, I was just like, no, like, I have to do for him, and then I will do for you. You're not going to get any less work from me, but also, like, there are considerations, like, my priorities kind of shifted. Right. And then, like you said, like, even if Derek's gone for a day, you're a single parent for that day of duty, or if you have to go to duty or whatever, you're just, that it just changes. And really people don't, especially people without kids, don't understand.
And it's a grief. Like, I grieved, like, the first 4 years of my time in the Marine Corps, I was that guy. I was like, send me here. I'll go here. Another TA, cool, Colorado.
Yeah.
Like, that was me.
And everybody's like, oh, we can rely on you.
Right. Like, I was like, what's up, Phil? You know, I was like homies with everybody. And then it's like you were involved, you're always working, you get to do all the cool stuff, you know, collect and challenge coins, like all the cool stuff, getting stories, different culture you're experiencing. And then you're like, oh, well, now I have this pool to love this thing that we created, and I want to be more involved with my family. And so, like, for me, I really grieved, like, especially when I PCS from Hawaii to North Carolina. Now we were talking about trips to Norway, trips like to Europe, and I was always like
6-month deployment to Italy.
Yeah, and like when you change duty stations, like that offers a whole new places you've never gone. Like in Hawaii, you can't just go to Europe most of the time. Like you're going to Japan, the Philippines, maybe Australia. You have your set area, like your AOR that you're going. And so now I'm in a whole new AOR. I've got all these places I can go, all these new debts. And Hawaii, like the unit I was at, we didn't have as many missions compared to this place. And so I'm like, there's so many things I could do. I'm so excited. And now it's like, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want to be taken away from my baby. Like I want to breastfeed, and like, so there's just so many things where it's like I was so like sad about the old like Marine me that was like, I can't volunteer. I would really, really love to go to freaking Italy. Like I would love to be on this workup. I'd love to do this, but it's like I have this instead that I want to do. It means more. And so it was so sad. Like I used to get guilty about, man, I really want to go. Why do I feel so guilty about that? And so it was so hard for me to make the transition of like being a mom, and like that means more to me. And it was like letting go of the Marine Corps. Like it was so hard. And so obviously like I was able to do it and I'm out now, but it's still hard. Like, you know, when I like talk about like, yeah, man, like my first time in Japan, I'm like, oh man, my first time in Japan, you know, like
I feel like different from that though. I feel like I still love the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
But I'm like, Lord, please give the opportunity to somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to travel, but I want to travel with my family. Like I want to go to those places, but I don't want to do it for the Marine Corps.
Right.
In a way of like, not that I wouldn't, you know, because if at the end of the day, if somebody is saying, hey, you have to go, then I have to go.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be heartbroken about it.
Right.
To me, it doesn't seem, it's that pull back and forth of like, I did join the military to serve my country.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to be a mom, and nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah.
That pull in both directions, because I do love the Marine Corps, but I don't want the opportunities of going TAD and going, not that I don't think that's cool, I do, but I don't want to do it.
Right.
Because I want to be here. Like,
it's not just you going, it's you leaving so many things behind too. It's not like you could take your kids and your family. If that was the case, I'd be like, sure, deploy us to Italy. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But
see, but at that point, I just feel like PCS me. Like, don't
exactly.
Don't, you know? So, I don't know. The stay-at-home mom life, I've really struggled with it since I've had kids, because I want to stay at home. I don't want to miss out. And like growing up, my mom was in the Army and my dad was in the Navy, but my mom got out when she got pregnant with my oldest brother. And so we had my mom around the entire time. So moving, and she had job, like everywhere we went, it was really hard in a way of, she changed. She has so much experience and so many different things that she got a job everywhere we went. So she worked for the post office. She worked in our school. She worked, like, she kind of was a chameleon like that. Yeah. But we always had her during, like, whenever we would get off of school, or she was always with us for any reason. And then my dad was like going on deployments and going TAD and going, so that we had that constant. And so I feel like I'm kind of giving my kids the shaft because I'm not available. And it literally, it hurts my heart going and dropping them off at daycare every day. Not that daycare is bad, but it's just, it kills me because I want to do it. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to go. And it is hard being a mom is a whole job. Yeah. And then being at work is a whole job. And then like, only women who have kids understand, like, you know what I'm talking about, because you are also doing it. Right. And then the stay-at-home mom life is not easy either.
Oh my gosh.
You're still,
it's so much harder than being in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'd run a BFT any day than this, especially when she's teething.
And then people just think you're batshit crazy, right? Like, and it's like, no, I'm surviving.
Yeah, because
like,
it's not, when you're a mom, it's not an 8 to 5. It's 8 to freaking 8 every single day.
24/7.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Right.
Like, you don't turn off. It's cooking, cleaning.
Exactly.
Like, and then people are so harsh about judging people. Like, you don't, or people have to have
hair today. She's wearing a messy bun. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but do you see how cute my kid is? Like, do you see that one?
Yeah, I feel like when men, like, this is just from my perception of like Derek, like when he's told me his stories, like, yeah, I told like everybody at work, and it's not as exciting on the men's side of the house. Like, oh, great, you're gonna be gone. Like, you get 3 months of maternity or paternity leave, and so like when he took the 3 months with Esme, like he got so much for it. Like, back in the day, like, I only had, you know, the 7 days, like, you don't need 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I've missed all my kids' births and like all this. And it's like, yeah, I'm really sorry you went through that.
Is that good for, you know, are you happy about that? Probably not.
Well, like, and that's the thing too, is one of the guys he was talking about was like, he said, yeah, I've got a successful like marriage and family. I've got 8 kids, and I'm like, just because you have 8 kids doesn't mean it's successful. Like, and I think that's what brings me to another thing about deployments. Like Derek and I have deployed at the same time, and we've deployed like when one person was gone, one person was stayed at home. This is before Esme, and so like we've done that, and that's so hard. Like even if it's just the couple, like no kids involved, it is pretty tough. Like emotionally on the relationship. But like the biggest thing is like you start to let doubts creep in of like, oh my gosh, like what is he gonna cheat on me? Or what if he finds like a super cool like Marine out there? Or like, you know, what if he's just like, 6 months without her, you know what, I'm not really missing her. Like there's just so many fears that go through your head. Yeah. And I think especially when like you're the wife at home and your husband's gone, and let's say your husband happens to be like in a job field where there are a lot of females, and you're like, gosh, he's hanging on all these girls, like, you know, just little things like that. It really gets in your head, and the next thing you know, you're upset at him for like this thing you imagined, and it gets so messy. And that's another reason why too, we were both like, we really love the Marine Corps, but you know, 20 years of being in the Marine Corps, like there's bound to be a lot of like happens either with a family or with a marriage, and we just don't want to do that. Like marriage is already hard as it is. Like we don't want to make it more stressful, but like let's keep deploying and, you know, testing each other and like all these things like that. And so it can just get really crazy. And I know a lot of people who aren't in the military, who've never been, I think they like really have the big imaginations of, oh my gosh, all these Marines. Like I think they're the ones who get more scared because they don't really know what it's like. You know what I mean? They just know he's working around other females. And you know, you just let that spin. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like we can be like, hey, don't worry about it. Like we know what it's like. But they have no idea, you know what I mean? Like they'll see pictures, group pictures, and like, well, that's a really cute blonde that he's working with. You know, like there's just so many things like that really eats at you, especially when you're already stressed, you're by yourself, you know, you've got so many things going on. The last thing you want to do is worry about some girl and like your man or whatever. So it can be so much. But I know a lot of people, like if you don't lean on like a community of other spouses or whatever, a lot of people turn to their family. We never really did that. We're not really close with our family, at least my side. My side's crazy, but we're like close with his side of the family. They just live over 1,000 miles away, and they're not in like a financial position to just move or up and fly and hang out with us for a few weeks, and like they're running a farm, and so it's like you can't just leave your cows for weeks and weeks on time. So we basically have no support. And I think like for my birth story, like we had to take the dogs to a hotel before we went to the hospital. Like that's how much support we've got. But it's really hard, and I know some people are blessed to be able to lean on families, whether they go to their family. Like I know a lot of people, like if they're like, hey, my husband's gonna be gone for 6 months, I'm gonna go fly back home to Michigan and hang out with the fam. Like I know a lot of people do that, or like they'll have their family come to them. I think that can be really good. I think, you know, like if you're in a position to do that, like definitely. I think it makes it feel like less lonely, you know? Well,
and so, yeah, and having family, sometimes it's like batshit crazy trying to visit like family, whether it's your family coming to your house or whether you're going to your families. And like, again, raised in a military household, every time that we had the opportunity to go home and visit, we were flying back from whatever country we were living in, and we were hitting like my mom's family, my dad's family, and we're going around and seeing everybody. And so in my upbringing, that was normal. Like you go visit everybody that you can in the 2 weeks that you have off, and then that's it for the year until the next year or 2 years, or until, you know, somebody dies and you're going back for a family reunion, or a family, you know, or well, somebody would die and then it would turn into a family reunion because that's the only time everybody would get together. But going and visiting people, like I remember, I think it was my godmother that told me when I was living in England and I would fly back to Georgia and I'd stay with her and she'd let me use her car and everything. And she told me, she's like, you know, well, because I was in ROTC, she calls me by my last name. She's like, you know what? You come here. I don't mind you using my car. She's like, you're driving a lot. I don't mind you using my car. You're spending a lot of money on gas. Again, don't mind. That's your choice. Right. But you just flew across an ocean to come back and see people. And you get back and you're here for 2 weeks and you're driving all over Timbuktu to go visit people. Do you think like maybe if you tell them come visit you within a 30-minute drive.
Yeah.
Maybe see how many people come visit you.
Right.
And then that will
see
tell
how many
you,
real friends
yeah,
you got.
that will tell you who truly is your friend.
Right.
Because if they aren't willing to do that and carve out some time for you after you've flown, driven, whatever, from that far away, maybe you should take some more time to just do something that you want to do. And you know, at that time I was like 19, 20, 21, 22, whatever. And I was just like, I don't mind. I'll go drive everywhere. And because your family wants to see you and your friends want to see you. But at what point, like, you know, you're going to your family should understand, like, military life, you don't always get the opportunity to take leave. Like other families are taking vacation every summer, right on the dot. That 2 weeks is good for them. They're going to Cancun.
Yeah.
Cool. I love that for you. But we don't have the opportunity to plan like that. Like people that are in the military. And so when you go to visit your family, like, it's not like important to establish boundaries. That's not like what, you know, there doesn't have to be strict rules. And if you enjoy going and driving to your family, like that is cool. But I think Danny and I, we've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, we want to visit our family, but it's like we always go to the same places and do the same thing. Like we go sit in the house for a week at the same place where you grew up, and we do the same things, and that's all. And it's not a vacation. That's not a vacation.
Yeah, I'd say it's more stressful trying to drive and coordinate with everybody.
Yeah, and we want to see the family. Yeah, you know, it's not a bad thing, but it's just
you think it's like one trip a year, like, hey, I just flew 12 freaking hours, or hey, I just drove 10 hours. We're gonna be in town from this date to this date. Love to see you. Like, you did all that work on your end, and it's like, can you just drive 30 minutes to meet me here?
Yeah, it's not. Is it gonna take that much?
Right. This is the one time a year I get to see you.
Yeah.
Would you rather fly 13 hours to come see me?
No, because people aren't willing to do that.
Exactly.
And they'll tell you that. Everybody will be like, oh, I'm gonna come visit you in England when you know, like because we PCS to England, it's like, oh, I'm gonna visit you in England. Or when we lived in Australia, people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna come visit you. Australia sounds great. And it's like,
yeah, right.
Crickets when we get there for 3 to 4 years. It's like,
because look at them flight prices.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I haven't seen you in so long. And it's like, well, I live in Australia. So if you want to come see me, you know, maybe you come get out of your comfort zone and come see me.
Right.
And but honestly, now that I have kids, it hits different.
Oh, I bet.
It's like, and it's probably for you guys too, because you don't have the flexibility that you did when you're single, or when it's just no kids or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's hard, like having that support system. But that's also why they're like, oh, military is family that you weren't born with, that you create for yourself. And that winds up being some people that I've met in the Marine Corps are closer to me than some of my relatives are.
Yeah, because I think when you're in, even if like you're not actually in, but you're married to someone who's in, you're still in. Like you're like in that community, you're exposed to it. And so it's like you gain a different type of appreciation for family time and like time off. Like you appreciate it a lot more, where you're like, no, I want some good quality family time. But then like I remember when I was like in my early boot ages of like, I'm gonna come home, I want to see everybody. This is when I was talking to my family, and like, ooh, that's not a good week for me. Can you do something else? And I'm like, no, actually I can't, because I'm about to hop on a freaking boat and go to Japan, so it's not a good time for me. And so I just remember like getting in arguments with my family, like over stupid stuff, like when I was in Hawaii, like they didn't have a Chick-fil-A for the longest time. So I'm like, when I go back home, I want to go to freaking Chick-fil-A. And like there's like this chicken place called Lee's. They don't have it like almost anywhere. And so I was like, I really want to go to Lee's. And my family wants to argue with me, like, oh, we had Lee's last week. And I'm like, shut up.
We're going to Lee's.
I haven't been in like 3 years. I'm going. And like, I don't care if I go by myself, but it's just like, I just feel like back home when you're completely unexposed to the military, you just don't have appreciation for things. So it's like you don't know what your niece did to get there to see you, and like, take her please, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just don't really understand, and it's one of those things where it's like you just want to get it. Like you really want it. Like it's really hard to explain, and so like I think like everybody has a little bit of people pleaser in them, and so it's like it's easier if I just go drive the 30 minutes, because like I want to see my Uncle Bob before he passes away, you know, like I want to go see this person, so it's like 30 minutes, whatever. But it's like if they're willing and they like
willing and able is what I'm. Yeah.
You know, like at some point
It's different if some people are, if it's like the elders that are in the nursing home, obviously, no, they can't, they're not going to come drive and see you.
That's great grandma Wow, she better come see me.
Yeah, that's not the expectation, but it's when it's like my same age friend from high school, or like, you know, my cousin or whoever it is, somebody that is willing or is able, but just not willing. That's the problem that I have, that I'm like,
I mean, it's one thing if they're super busy and super slammed, like that's a legit thing too. But it's one thing like if they are unemployed, no kids, they take a 4-hour nap in the middle of the day every day. Like, what do you do like you literally do nothing all day. You can drive 3
or it's like they go to the same bar, they go hang out with the same homies every afternoon after they get off work. Like, can you just maybe one of those days just hang with me or invite me to that shit? Like, like we don't have to go to the mall and go to, I don't know, go shopping, but invite me to do the things that you are doing regularly, or just maybe instead of you doing that routine thing that you do all the time, just come hang out with me for an hour or 3 hours or whatever, you know? So it's just weird, but like you said, unless you're in it, like you understand it. A spouse of a service member understands it. Dependent children understand it. But we also in the military are so, what is another toxic trait? Not that adapt and overcome is a toxic trait, but sometimes it can be when it's applied to our families. Like we will do anything to make something happen, and it bleeds into our kids of like, okay, we just have to be flexible. Daddy has to work. Mommy has to go to duty. Like, you know, mommy has to go TAD next week, or you know, even the spouses, you know, like your husband has to go TAD for 2 weeks, and it's like, but little Bubby's birthday is on Saturday. What do you mean you're leaving?
With a 3-day notice.
Yeah, like what do you mean? They can't find anybody else? They only asking for you? You went last time. And it's like, yes, but everybody else is dealing with everything else also. Like, so we just have that ability to adapt and mold, and I think that's why it's hard for, I'm not going to say it's hard for everybody to set boundaries, but like trying to say that to your family that has no idea about the military is,
and it might sound
hard.
Cringe,
it's icky.
You really do learn like structure, like especially in the Marine Corps, like you learn structure, you learn like to be able to say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and you actually go do it. Like you learn like the discipline, like the assertiveness, whatever you got. Like we actually learn that, and like it becomes a big part of our lifestyle. Like even as like the spouse, like that becomes a big part of your lifestyle. And I think like going into the military, I had no idea how my family was, and then I learned a little bit of discipline, a little bit of structure, and then I also went to therapy and learned some like mental health stuff. And I like you go back and you're like, what in this shit show is going on? Like there's just such a big difference. Like you automatically set yourself in a different category, you know what I mean? And so it's such a weird thing, and for us it always became stressful.
And you grow separately,
and you're not stuck in the same, like I came from a small town, and you go back to a small town and you think you have so many friends you want to hang out with, and it's like you're working at a Starbucks,
you're still doing the same thing that you did 2 years ago when I left, and you're at a different level. Like,
it's so different. And so, you know, you go through a whole phase where you don't really have those friends anymore, and like taking leave to go back home kind of becomes stressful, at least for us. And so that was something we had to learn, is like we want to take time off, like we want to relax in that time, or we want to go travel as a family and do something. We don't have to go back and visit everybody and sit in the same old house, do the same old thing, have the same old conversations, you know.
Danny and I talk about that all the time, and we every year we make it like a goal. Like our New Year's resolution is, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do it again this year. And guess the we do every year, we do the same every year, because it's like you don't want to say no to your family, but at the same time it's not understood. And like my in-laws, they come, well, but like they're really good. They come up and visit, and it's really nice. And like his daughter lives down there, so we go down and see her. So there's just different things that are tied into it. But we have been getting better every year. Like we try to make a family trip every year, something that's just us, like all of us going. So it's important, but it's, I mean, look, I'm 35, gonna be 36. He's 40, he's in his 40s. Like we, you know, look how far along we're in life.
Is he gonna be mad that you just said that for everybody?
No, he's probably just gonna be like,
he's actually 30.
I'm just kidding. He's only a year older than me. No, that's a lie. No, we're older. We're older in the Marine Corps. So, like all of our peers are retiring by this time, but we just joined a little bit later. So I hope. If he told my age, I probably would be like, don't say it out loud. It makes it real. But yeah, it's just something. And then like establishing those boundaries with your family or with anybody really, because
be sorry, especially if they come to your house. See, that's something I learned from the Marine Corps is like, oh, I'm going to be 4,000% assertive with you. I don't care who you are to me. You know what I mean? Like, Grandma, let me hold your hand when I say this. You know what I mean? Like, I will. And that's why I don't talk to my family, because there's so many like codependency, toxic traits in my family that I tried that. Like, hey, I want to come home, but listen, I'm not going to spend all this money to fly from Hawaii to come see you and then give you money because you're in your 30s and you don't have a successful like career. Like, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? And so like having those hard conversations, like when you do grow and mature, it becomes really hard. But when your family comes here, it's a completely freaking different thing. When I was in Hawaii, my family, I flew them out. So I paid for everything. And so trips to Hawaii, flights to Hawaii.
My God.
Yeah. But at the time I felt like that was my job. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's what I got told like by my mom was, well, you're working, you don't have kids, you don't have any bills. I'm like, actually, like I have my water bill, I have my internet, I have electric, I've got my phone. Like I do have responsibilities.
Like I have a job and a different lifestyle where I like sign my life away to the government for 5 years.
But like I believed it's like, yeah, I don't have kids, so therefore I should spend $5,000 and fly my family out to come see me and accommodate everything to them. And so I did that. But anyway.
And so I did.
I learned from then. I've learned. But so I flew them out and all it was complain. And it's like, you didn't buy this at the store? I'm like, no, I didn't buy your Cheez-Its, but you can go hop.
Welcome to Hawaii.
Yeah. I'm like, do you know how much
Aloha,
the bill was?
Mother.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I know, and I got like the Lays. I met them at the airport with the Lays because that's what you do when it's like your first time in Hawaii. And like I did all that, and it was like I got a thank you, a half-assed thank you, like at the end of the trip, and it was just like there were so many things, and they were staying at my apartment, and so it was like they're messy, and like I definitely believe you should be a good host, but I think you should be an even better guest because it's not your space. Respect the space. I don't know if that's like a Marine Corps thing, like. What do we always say?
Leave it better than you found it.
Yeah. Like, and so it's like, and I was like, Lance Corporal.
Everybody get online. We're going to police call real quick before y'all get on the road.
Step together.
Get back. Nope, start over. You guys aren't on the line. Like, start over.
Exactly. Yeah.
We had to pick up trash at Aunt Tara's house.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you did.
But that's what I'm saying is like.
I don't really do that. That's not a thing. It was just for the,
Everybody's like, wow, this girl.
I thought I liked her, but now I don't really see eye to eye anymore.
Yeah. But no, like, and I was like a Lance Corporal, so it's like
you're not making a lot of money,
right? And so it was like I would try to accommodate everything, and I was like really like balls deep into like bodybuilding, and so it's like I don't keep cookies and chips. Like I have a little sister, and so she's probably like 3 or 4 at the time, and so I was like I don't keep snacks around, but I went out and I got some snacks. I asked you what snack she likes. Oh fuck, I got the wrong brand. You didn't pay for shit, so are you really in a place to complain?
Like be thankful, like be happy that you're out
Yeah,
here.
so I always just think like try to be a really good guest, And so I just remember like I guess I could just be some of like the Marine Corps to me too, but like I would come out of my room every day and they're like, hey, we're gonna go walk down to the beach or whatever. Okay, cool, great. There's food everywhere, like cereal, like milk all over the table, like food on the floor, blankets all over the couch, and it's like, okay, first of all, it's an apartment, so it's small, but it's also like my parents were just in here. Like the people who taught me to clean up after myself didn't clean up after themselves. And so it's like you're in a weird position because you're just like, well, I'm the kid, so how do I have this conversation with my parents to like be respectful of my space?
Yeah.
And like even if something of like your little kid spilled some milk, just wipe it up. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't like if you went over to like your boss's house, you probably would do that. You know what I mean? But it's like because I'm your kid or because I'm your daughter-in-law, you treat me like you don't have to clean up after yourself. And it's like, yeah, we're family, so it's like I want you to feel at home, but it's like respect my shit. You know what I mean? Like, fold the freaking blankets up on the couch. Like this is a living room. It's a common space when we're not sleeping here. Like, you know what I mean? And so I had to have that conversation, and it did not go well. And it was, well, we're your parents. Like, you don't tell us what to do. And I'm like, all right, well, you can pack your shit and you can leave early. I don't care. Like, I was not the type to fuck around with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just bent backwards to get you here one of a lifetime type of trip. Like how many people have their kids fly them out to Hawaii? Like family of 5, you know what I mean? Like all of that, and then you want to argue with me about cleaning up your damn food on the floor? Like who's the kid right now?
And it's not like you're coming, like they're in vacation mode, right? And so that it's even more so like they don't understand what you had to do in order to prepare for them to
not
be
to mention
there.
the time I had to take off ahead of time and rearrange, and
like you're not even having a staycation at that point. You're just
I'm hosting.
Yeah, that's it. And that's a job too, because then once they leave, then you got to clean off. One, you prepared for them to get there, and that was probably while you were still working, because you don't want to take your leave until they get here. You don't want to burn your leave. Because we don't get that much, like we do get 30 days a year, but it hits different when you can't take it on certain times. But yeah, you prep for them to be there. You're excited for them to be there. Then when they finally get there, they don't respect your stuff or your space or anything. Not that you're like, not that the requirement is, oh, Allison, thank you so, like, oh, we're
kiss like, my feet.
That's not what you're asking for. You just have a little respect to the common areas, you know?
I'm not expecting you to dust my furniture every morning, but you know what, maybe if your kid spills milk or there's food all over the floor, maybe just pick it up. That's also just cleanliness, you know what I mean? I think anybody would kind of expect that. And so having those conversations, vacation mode or not, you should want to be cleanly, you know, like leaving your dirty clothes in the one shared bathroom. What are we doing? How old are you? What are we doing? You know what I mean? And I think that kind of goes for a lot of people, especially like our parents' age, like that generation. It's kind of, well, you're my kid, so you do whatever I tell you to do. It's like, I'm your kid, but I'm also 20 now. You're in my spot. You know what I mean? Like it changes, and I think parents have a hard time adapting, especially that generation. Like they have a hard time adapting of, you're not 12 anymore. Like, you know what I mean?
You can't tell me what to do because I'm an adult now. Like, I think I didn't change. My sister-in-law has been really good about like talking to me and kind of like I'll tell her something and she'll be like, Tara, no, your friends that are single will never understand what you're going through because they don't understand. Like they will never understand. But your priority, your focus, everything you do revolves around your children. And with Mac, I didn't, I still had a little bit of flexibility and I still had a little bit of like, oh, I can make it work, staying out late one night or driving back from, visiting somebody or hey, I'll drive an hour if you drive an hour and I'll come meet you in the middle for friends or family or whoever it is. But when you have two or when you're in a routine of like, you don't have the ability to do that, or if it does, it just royally up everything. I just like having a plan, and my toxic trait growing up is like you accommodate everything. Like it doesn't, when it's family, nothing is too much of an ask. You accommodate, because who knows when the next time you see them is, because we grew up
kind of tiptoeing on codependency.
Yeah, like because you grew up not being able to see. Like we grew up living all over the world. We weren't able to see our family, so every time we would see them, it was like, nothing is too big of an ask. Like we will make it happen. And then now I'm in the part of my life where my kids are my priority, and I don't want to sorry, like your flight is at 5 o'clock in the morning and we have to drive an hour away. Like I can't wake my kids up early to drive to the airport. Now I will, if that's the only time. And when I talk to my in-laws or when I talk to my mom or when I talk to different people who are flying in, like we try to make that happen in the beginning. But
obviously there's times when you can't.
And again, I'm not like leaving people out to dry, but it's just like the consideration, because I don't think that people think about that in the way that I'm thinking about that, because they don't live they're not living in my household, in my life. Like they don't understand. I've gotten up every 2 hours last night because Nash just had his shots, one of the round of shots yesterday, and it's really affecting him. And I've been up all night. Like, no, I can't meet you for breakfast today. Like, no, I can't do, whatever it is. So drawing that line, my toxic trait is like, I have a very hard time. At work, I have no hard times with drawing boundaries. Like, no, get the fuck away from, like, no, I'm not doing it, or I am doing it, or we're doing it this way. It's different when
it's family. It gets messy and it gets complicated.
And to try to say that, it's so uncomfortable. I've gotten better about it now, but
that's good.
But it's so uncomfortable.
Well,
I know you wanted to. I know you want me to tell the bowl story, but I don't. I don't know. I just think it's gonna gross people out. But
well, I think now you kind of already mentioned it. So if they were to watch this, they know what you're talking about. So
and it's not anything bad. It's just something about like people coming into your space and just not. People want to be helpers, right?
Yeah.
Like my mother-in-law, she's a helper. She's a saint. Like she comes and she's like,
Are you
"What do you
gonna
need?"
tell a story?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell it,
Okay.
but I gotta give some backstory because I don't want it to sound like I'm bashing my mother-in-law because I'm not. But
we love you.
yes, I love you. And she is a saint. She's the most giving lady ever. There is sometimes where it's like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way, but she still gets it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
they flew in. They're hanging out at your house. Danny's
yes.
gone.
Danny's gone. We had like Mexican night or whatever, and there was like a bowl. You know how you put stuff in different bowls, like salsa and
I feel
cheese.
like it's bad. Wait, I feel bad. Should I not peer pressure you to tell a story?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Because it is funny, but I feel like people will relate to this.
Yeah.
But you're putting stuff in separate bowls, right? So you can get your cheese and your lettuce, and you can put all of that on your burrito or taco or whatever.
Right.
And one of the bowls, like my mother-in-law, or I don't know if it was her. I don't know if it was her, but somebody put a bowl on top of a bowl. And
So there's lettuce
to like
in a
cover,
bowl.
yeah, there's lettuce in a bowl, and to like cover the bowl where you would really like you put a top on it or maybe cellophane or foil or something like that. Instead of putting any of those types of things on it, there was a bowl, and they put that inside of the bowl, like stacked it. So not like a dome, not like covering it like that, but like
She covered a bowl of food with an empty bowl.
Inside, like sitting it inside.
Dome style.
Yeah, not dome style.
Not
the
dome
other
style.
way.
Yeah.
Other way. And so
Like you said, like
looked
how you stack a cup.
like how you would stack it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it looked like it was just two clean bowls, right? And so anyways, whoever was doing the cleanup, and I'm not blaming anybody. This is just one of those weird things of like people
have
are
people in
coming,
your house,
Yeah, people
yeah.
are coming into your house, cleaning up, and instead of lifting the bowl off of the bowl to see that there's lettuce underneath, it was just stayed like that, and they put it in the cupboard, right, with where the bowls go.
Lettuce is still in the bowl, by the way.
Lettuce is still in the bowl. And so like 2 days later when I was doing the dishes, and when people are in your house, like not everybody knows where the dishes go. So even like my mother-in-law, she's like, she wants to do the dishes. She cleans she does everything when she's here. And I love it. But I will find random everywhere after they leave, and it's like, because it's not in the place that I normally put it, but she doesn't know. And I'm so thankful that she does any of that anyways. It's just funny. So when I was putting away the dishes, I just noticed that one of the bowls should have been up with like the salad bowls, like the individual salad bowls, and not down with like the mixing bowls. And so I took that bowl out of the other bowl, and just what you imagine like 3-day-old lettuce in a bowl like would look like.
Brown soup.
That's what it was. And I was like, oh my God, like who did this? And my mother-in-law of course was like, oh no, like I don't know who did that. No, we don't know who put the bowls away, but it was just like a shock of like, ugh. But thankfully I found it before, anybody might, before Danny gets back. Cause if that, oh God.
This is what you're doing when I'm gone.
Yeah. You can't even do this. Like you put the dishes in here like this. Like, no.
But to be fair, to put a bowl, a separate bowl on top of a bowl to cover it is also just crazy.
It's kind of weird, but
like if you don't have a lid, everybody uses just like the saran wrap or foil, or put it in the fridge or the microwave.
Maybe it was like something fast, but it was a clean bowl.
Nah, because then now you're washing 2 bowls. And you got stank lettuce in the cabinet.
I was just like, oh my God.
But if you don't want to have family and have stinky lettuce,
I love my family coming to visit. I truly do. But it's stuff like that where it's like, oh, it'd be nice.
babe, quit squeaking the squeaker.
I love family coming to visit, but it's just stuff like that that's like funny little things that it's like, oh, I can't wait to have my space back.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that's that.
But if you aren't blessed to have family, there are other resources, and you are actually more involved in this, so I'll let you talk on it. But I know for me, like every deployment I've been on, before that you have kind of like a pre-deployment brief where the spouses are welcomed. So if you're like a military spouse, or if you're also in the military, it doesn't matter. If you're a spouse, you are encouraged to go to these meetings where they just kind of tell you what to expect, how long it's going to be, how to contact them, and they give you other resources like, hey, if you need anything, contact this person, or here's this person's number, or they have activities here, or especially if it's over a holiday, it's like, hey, like Christmas is coming up, we're going to have this food drive, or we're gonna have this. And so I'll just let you talk on that.
Yeah, so it's called the UPFRIP is the abbreviation, but it stands for Unit Personal and Family Readiness Program. And it's normally a service member that is like, that's their collateral duty, like an additional job outside of their regular job. And then there's normally a civilian person that is there, and they plan things like the Christmas parties, or like she was saying, food drives or fundraisers, and they also do information on different things, and they also do the events. So they have information on whenever if there's an Easter egg hunt that's going to happen, or there's also a URC and a DRC, which is the Unit Deployment. What is
Readiness Coordinator?
Unit Readiness Coordinator, and Deployment Readiness Coordinator. Those people you can give your email to, or you can give your email to your spouse, who can give it to that person. And they have like monthly calendars that they send out of all the activities that's going on. So sometimes they have like a spouse coffee morning. Since Danny has been gone, the URC has reached out to the families, and they give information about the Easter egg hunt. And if you have family coming in, you can give them your information to get a visitor's pass to come on base, and they'll coordinate that so you don't miss out on anything. Like you might think, if you're a girlfriend, or if you have a boyfriend and they don't have base access without you being there, then they can get in touch with the URC, and that URC can put your name on a list for the gate guards, and then you can get a visitor's pass to go to some of these events. We can talk more if you have questions, like hit us up and I can give you more information about it. But they have resources, they have how you can get the base access if you need it for certain events, and also different activities that are going on. So if just the unit is having a beach bash, and your spouse or the service member is going to be TAD during that time, you can still go, and you can still get your family to go, or whatever. So.
Yeah, they're meant for you to still feel connected and have a community. Just because your spouse or significant other is gone, it's basically just to give you that support of, hey, let's just get out and celebrate this holiday, or let's have a barbecue with everybody, because there's probably other people in the same boat as you, especially like if it's like all of our husbands are gone right now, so it's like all of the spouses get together, they get to hang out, they get to do whatever, and a lot of these things there's little like you have to pay for, and so that's a plus.
Usually food, activities for kids,
right? So definitely look into it. I'm sure there's things online too for your specific base. You can look into all those things, but just know like there are so many resources out there, and so many classes and like events that get planned, but I feel like very little people actually utilize them. Or it might be like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, who goes to those events? It's like you might have an awesome time, especially when you're alone. You don't know that you might need just to go around some other people. You know what I mean? So, or get your kids involved, hang out with other kids or whatever,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We know it was a little bit of a long one, but this one is something that we're really living right now, and so it kind of hits home for us. But anyway, have a good day. As a reminder, this podcast is not endorsed by the DoD, and everything talked about here is just our personal experiences and opinions.
We are also not medical professionals.